Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, got a fresh haircut, all right? And I'm ready to talk some crypto. So, let's get. Oh yeah, my headset is broken. I forgot about that. Let's get it started. Crypto market today, not in really a good position, but honestly, not too bad. I think we could all conclude that times have been better, but for example, XRP here has not really broken out of the structure just quite yet. Bitcoin is not really broken out of the structure just quite yet. It might look at it because of this line right here, but this is just to showcase that we are currently on a really short term. We're actually making some higher lows. Right now that's been broken though, and we're seeing this little breakout that actually might happen on the short term. Hey, that is actually very exciting to watch right now. I didn't actually spot this before. I told you guys before, this is a descending broadening wedge, and very often when this breaks out towards the top side, this actually comes right back down to the start of the wedge, which in this case would be around 21.6 or so thousand dollars. And right now, we could have a massive breakout coming in, as again, the price is going rather sideways in comparison to downwards. We're actually still continuing to make a higher bottom here, at least as it currently looks that way. And so, usually, the moment that we get a confirming candle out of this one, we should open the trade, open a long position, and ride it all the way towards 21.6. I personally think if we want to be very certain with it, we actually have to wait for a breakout above 19.9 thousand or so. We also obviously have this psychological barrier at $20,000 exactly. But I'm actually thinking we could also open the trade the moment that we actually get the breakout confirmed, and then open up the long position with our stop loss at entry, and our first take profit at 20,000 or 19.99, for example, something like that, and our second take profit all the way over here. That way we are quite safe, because even if we don't manage to break through, we can actually take out our profit already and have our stop loss back at our entry so we don't lose any money. I actually think that might be the best strategy for right now. Having said that, I want to make it too clear to all of you guys. As of this point, it's still a good buying area. We are still lower relatively than the price we've seen for a lot of freaking years. For the last 7 years or so, we have not seen prices this low relatively. I guess you can even extrapolate, right, and take this line a little bit further to go all the way back to 2013. And that is, I guess, the last time that we are actually below this line, once more, relatively, which showcases just how low Bitcoin is dipping. It's like down, how much would it be, 75% or so? Yeah, it's down roughly 75% right now. If this doesn't seem like a good opportunity to you, I don't know what would. Also, guys, this is what I showcased in my previous video, but I want to make it clear again. The Pi Cycle Bottom Indicator, I love this one. Why? Because it showcases pretty accurately every single time a bottom is formed. Again, I have two examples for you guys here over the last couple of years. It's only flashed it twice in the last 7 years, once right here, back in 2015, at a Bitcoin price of $150. And then the second time was right here, after the big bull run at the end of December 2018. It also showcased a pretty juicy bottom, if I'm being honest with you. And then almost right now, almost, we're seeing the crosshair over on this indicator, which could signal a bottom. And it is looking as if it's going to pop, right? It's really looking as if it's going to. And again, we have not had any fake outs of this indicator in years and years and years. And again, don't mind this second cross right here. It is not like our usual golden and death crosses where vice versa would mean the top. This is just a specific bottom indicator. You also have a specific top indicator. They work a little bit differently. And right now it's looking as if the bottom really could be in really close. Also, guys, our macro structure still stays. I still expect, honestly, that Bitcoin is going to have some sort of relief rally toward 32,000. Again, these numbers don't lie. Right now, we are facing a juicy bounce off of the support which we saw back, or I guess the resistance that we saw back in 2017. Right now, we're bouncing off of that. It is only the moment that we start to go beneath it that I think we should open a short position all the way towards 16.2 thousand. But we have bounced from this level every single time in all these years. Here's another short-term outlook, by the way, and I'm actually looking for this breakout on Bitcoin as well. We actually were facing some resistance at some key Fibonacci levels, but as it currently stands, you can see the most important points, right? I have not drawn these levels in today. The last time I looked at the chart, I think was somewhere earlier yesterday. A lot of these points are still holding up. You can see the most interesting resistances and supports, but you can also surely see the trend that's been ongoing. And right now, over the next 4 hours, it will most likely decide whether or not we're going to break towards the downside or the upside, as we're basically seeing ourselves another symmetrical triangle right here on the short term. But I'm honestly expecting, with the way in which it's looking right now, that we could get a crazy breakout towards the upside, which is going to coincide with this pattern right here, and that could be a crazy long position for us. That was just regarding the price action. I know a lot of you guys don't care about the prices, but honestly, guys, right now is the time to make a crazy amount of money in the crypto space, or at least to stack up as much as possible. So I try to give you guys as many tips as to what I'm doing with trading, but take it with a grain of salt. Don't take it too harshly. If you miss 1 or 2 trades, or 3 trades even, it's not the worst thing in the world. I personally think the best idea is just to keep buying consistently, and you'll make it out. Because funny enough, the work is being done for you. Here's, for example, an article which showcases Mexican senator proposes bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. Just kind of realize for yourself the crazy amount of adoption that we're having right now. Yet many people like to numb it down and say, no, crypto's going to zero, crypto's going away. Governments of countries, we saw it just now with Ripple as well. Governments of countries, that was with Colombia, this is right now with Mexico. They're expanding, all right? The CBDC realm, it's not going away anymore. Just know that this blockchain technology, this cryptocurrency stuff, it is not a fad. It's not a, oh, okay, this run is over. No, it's impossible. Again, a lot of these spearheads, they often say, oh, the crash is not over. We might crash further. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with actually saying, okay, the crash might be taking longer or we're actually in a really bad position. But that's really different from saying that crypto is over or crypto is never going to recover anymore. And that's honestly the only thing that I have something against. If you think that this bear market is going to last further, all props to you. I mean, the stock market has not been in a really good position for a long while. And so I don't blame you if you think that crypto is going to have this sort of similar faith. It could, however, also be the exact opposite, where because stocks have done so bad over this while that crypto is going to prosper. I mean, honestly, that was what it was designed for in the get-go anyway. Crypto likely to rally in the coming months as traditional assets fall, says CEO of a $5.1 billion hedge fund. Yeah, I mean, it's not the craziest of hedge funds, but sure. Pantera Capital CEO Dan Morehead believes crypto assets will diverge from traditional assets such as stocks, bond, and real estate. In a CNBC interview, the hedge fund CEO says the prices of digital assets will likely be going up in a year as interest rate hikes cause traditional assets to trend downwards. Quote, one of our central views is that although obviously interest rates have to impact bonds mathematically, and they almost have to impact stocks, and then other things like real estate will certainly be targets of the Fed's Federal Reserve Bank, there are some asset classes like cryptocurrencies that should be uncorrelated or disconnected from the interest rate markets. Although it hasn't happened yet, crypto has been very correlated with risk assets. I can easily see a world in, say, a year when stocks and bonds are down, real estate is down, but crypto is rallying and trading on its own, very much like gold does, or soft commodities like corn and soybeans, all doing very well. So that's the world that I think we'll see. Maybe. Having said that, there's another completely other side. Tether, for example, reduces commercial paper reserves by another $5 billion. Obviously, one of the big scares with Tether was that they have commercial paper backing. And that would basically mean that, okay, if that money were to get lost in some way, shape, or form because of Evergrande trouble, we'd be in a lot of trouble for Tether. But, I mean, they're decreasing, and the crypto space is becoming more and more sturdy as time moves on. I don't personally think Tether is going to have any sort of trouble in the near future. They're trying to take him down, most likely with billions of dollars at stake, right? But it's not happening. Could it eventually happen? No, I don't think so. I think a little while ago, maybe let's say a year or two ago, they could have taken Tether down. A couple of losses could have most likely also made it really worse or really make it happen. But as it currently stands, it is extremely hard to do so if their claims are correct. It's only if that part is a lie. You know, if their claims of being one-to-one backed is a lie, yeah, it can be taken down. If not, then it's impossible to take down. I'm not sure how they could. But yeah, let that sink in for a second. And again, regarding XRP, we know the massive expansion that's going on right now. You know the massive amount of increase in, I guess, community, but also more particularly in activity that we're seeing right now. It's crazy. When I talked about the XRP price just now, I want to make that clear again. All I was saying just now is that there's no clear indication of where we're about to head. I told you guys before, the only structure which I'm seeing is either a bearish pennant or just a symmetrical triangle right here. We've clear defined bottom or a clear defined demand zone here for XRP. And the most logical scenario would be to most likely just bounce off of this right here to get another, little dump going and then potentially break out, or get the initial breakout like this one was showcasing right here just from the get-go. But we'll have to see. A breakout on XRP would also be juicy, but XRP in comparison to Bitcoin is trading more towards the downside. But I guess we shall see, right? I'm going to be looking for this breakout. I'm going to most likely open up a trade real soon here if we do get this going. Otherwise, if we don't, still short, honestly. All right, it's not too crazy if we actually just bounce right back down from here and see the bottom side again in the short term. It would not be too crazy. It's the most likely scenario. A breakout here obviously would be the preferred scenario because it would have been a juicy trade. But right now, I think shorting is the best option unless we get a clear critical breakout happening. That's again on the short term. On the medium term, as I said before, I do think that we will actually have a pretty good juicy price action for Bitcoin unless we break down below the all-time high of 2017-18. And yeah, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later in another one. Make sure you, however, join Bybit with the link down below for some crazy bonuses, and join my trading Telegram. Honestly, recommend you guys to check that one out.